which is owned by, they'll say that the company that hired a company that sort of an anonymous company, an LLC that nobody knows what it is, and they apparently hired a company to do these really super expensive commercials. Like to she went to Mount Rushmore, and she rode a horse around, and she paid this. And this company apparently got hired for like $140 million to make a commercial that showed her, sitting on this pony, talking about how, we'll prosecute you if you try to cross the border. And this was apparently a no bid contract, and it went to a good friend of hers, her good friend of her. Actually, her official spokesperson for the Homeland Security, her husband owns this company, which apparently got 140 million in pass through, and so for no bids. And essentially, this is what corruption looks like. All right, so we can't legally say that this was actually like a kickback situation because we don't have like legal proof that's true. But when you funnel hundreds of millions of dollars to companies owned by your good friends who you hired, that looks like corruption.
It's a little tiny white animal with a yellow orange beak that goes quack quack.
It does look like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Waterproof.
Yes. Yeah. some of waterfowl from the genus Anidae, I believe.
But this has an effect, on it's not just a case of money moving around. This actually affects the world. It affects the environment. And of course, one of our focuses on this show is that there's no industry that's more corrupt than the nuclear industry. And of course, we have, spent many hours on this show talking about the great corruption that was House Bill 6. And House Bill 6, was a sort of a demonstration of how corruption is the norm when it comes to the nuclear industry. And in fact, that was the defense of Larry Householder, who's in prison now for 20 years. His defense literally was, this is just business as usual.
But I do it all the time.
You just give us money, and we write you laws, and, where's the corruption in that? So, but there was a big story this past week because what happened in Ukraine, apparently they've arrested 5 people, and there was this apparently well-developed corruption going on there, where there's like 5 people or so who they were a shadow management for the nuclear industry, the nuclear company that runs all of Ukraine's nuclear plants, called Energoatom. And these 5 people who've been arrested, according to the government of Ukraine, they added 10 to 15% to the cost of everything Energoatom did because they got bribes on top of it. They essentially required bribes from every single contractor whenever they had to do anything. Yeah. Oh, sorry. And so that is another example of the corruption. And I think like an immoral industry like nuclear, where you're generating wastes that are going to be hurting people for literally millions of years, it tends to attract immoral people. If once you've made the moral decision or the immoral decision that it's okay if we poison future generations for our benefit, then the idea of stealing money in order to do that gets a lot easier. It's kind of like, that's not as bad as what we're actually doing. So I may as well skip some money off the top because I'm going to be poisoning my great-great-grandchildren. I should at least be able to afford a hot tub.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So
what kind of sucker Poisons of grandchildren doesn't even get a hot tub.
Exactly. So, in the context of what's going on today, the larger picture globally, right now, I wanted to mention that we're having COP, Conference of Parties in Brazil, is going on right now down there, which is supposedly the UN's, which is supposedly the world's response to global warming. And that is being affected by corruption. And we're going to talk more about that after the interview and after we talk to Rebecca. That's actually our first story was going to be talking about COP30. But what do you think? What are your opinions on this? Give us a call at 877-909-1007, or you can actually text us now also during the show, 419-973-5841. So, all right. So now, a very uncorrupt guy, a guy who's, very honest and straightforward, the way good engineers are, is our good friend, Mark Jacobson. And I've been following his social media posts all summer because he's been documenting the fantastic progress that's being made in California to actually get off carbon and switch to a carbon-free wind, water, and sun-based energy system. So let's go to that interview now. All right. And to our listeners, our people who are following us on our live stream, I've already uploaded this interview, so you can go watch the interview from YouTube. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this right now because there's no sense in you just watching us sitting here. And then I'll start the live stream back up again when we start talking at the end after the interview's over. So thanks for watching.
See you in a sec.
Thanks for sticking with us through our technical difficulties, and we'll talk to you in a bit.
About 217 days this year, or